Shalom, shalom. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero with the Ways of Israel. This morning we're going to take a look at chapter 20 of the Letters for the Ages by the Ramban, Nachmanides. And as we look at every chapter, we look also within ourselves to be able to make ourselves better persons and people to serve not only God but also our fellow man. And obviously the series is dedicated to my sons, Mayor David, Joshua, and David Joseph. The Ramban starts chapter 20, which is video 20 here. Do not stare at your listener to intimidate or belittle him. Let all men seem greater than you in your eyes. Subtle barbs. Throughout this letter, the Ramban points out various manifestations of arrogance. Here he notes the habit of overbearing individuals to lord over others in a way that often is quite subtle. Arrogance intimidates, no matter what its form. One need only to verbally assault another in order to hurt him. The penetrating coldness of a quick glance can be just as painful as the message. Indeed, one must strive to refine all aspects of his communication with others. The deciding matchstick. The great teacher of Musar movement used a parable to illustrate the psychology of overbearing individuals. Imagine the following scenario. One day, two richest men in the world happened to meet. They conversed and eventually came to discuss the immensity of their respective assets. Each was eager to establish himself as the wealthier, and they began to list one another their entire holdings. As the hours went by, they found to their amazement that their fortunes were actually equal, neck to neck. The contest continued until there was nothing left to count. Exasperated, one of the men withdrew a small case of his pocket, 17 matches. He called it out. The other reached into his pocket and laid out tiny sticks upon the table. Slowly, he counted 16, 17, 18. 18 matches. I am the richest man, the richest in the world, and you are nothing but a wretched pauper. The person is created in God's image. Every person in his very existence possesses an unimaginable wealth. The physical and the intellectual gifts are mere child are uncountable, cannot be counted. What then are one man's advantage over another? A hint of talent, a shade of beauty. Beauty sinks into the meaningless when he's seen in the perspective of common pricelessness of a human being. He who looks down upon others betrays his own inability to grasp man's true greatness. Let all men seem greater than you in your own eyes. A popular folk tale runs as follows. Once there was a man who imagined himself to be a true Talmid Chacham. He rose at 4 o'clock in the morning every morning to study in the Beit Mikdash. And on his way he would always meet a poor and ignorant shoemaker who also would arise early in the eke of his meager livelihood. As the two passed one another, the former heart was filled in pride over his scholarship and diligence, while he looked down upon the ignorant shoemaker with utter contempt. When the shoemaker saw that the man he passed on his daily journey, however, he felt deep respect for his scholarship. The daily encounter, however, he felt deep respect for the scholarship, and the daily encounter went on for years and years. And finally they came both and to leave this world to stand to the final judgment. The contempt which the arrogant felt for the shoemaker outweighed his good deeds and tipped the scale against him. All of the shoemaker's errors and shortcomings, however, were balanced by one sigh of humility, which he would sigh every morning when he looked up to the Talmid Chacham. In his merit, the humble shoemaker entered the Gan Eden. It is the man who seems smugly self-assured, who views every man being as a potential threat, a possible competitor, in a never-ending race for approval. Lacking the resources to trust his own image, he is enslaved to other opinions of him. It is by denigrating his fellow that the arrogant man gains the illusion of relative strength. And here we find the importance to look at others on a higher level than oneself. This is part of being humble before your God. And the importance of doing so is of great significance. And this is why you don't stare at your listener to intimidate or belittle him. Let all men seem greater in your own eyes, and thus you be the servant, and they be the one you serve. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero with The Ways of Israel. Remember to be part with our organization and becoming a member very easily. You could go and download it on our group page and submit it to us and fill out the application online. And this way you can be part of our organizational structure that we're creating throughout the world. And I want to thank those who have already donated, contributed to our organization. May God bless you and continue to strengthen you in all your ways. Wish you and yours a shalom, bracha, hatzlacha.